Good morning from Colorado Springs. This is Chaplain Allen. And after I did the video yesterday, thank you for the response back. But yet, there's still more to the story, and especially my own. I got to thinking about one particular thing. When the siren stops. All of us who have served and as a first responder, know all too well that siren means we're going to the call. We're taking the time to assist, to hopefully make a difference, to hopefully take the time in caring for someone else, placing ourselves ultimately in harm's way, never truly thinking the consequence of doing for others. Because I think if we did know the true consequences of what we do, we wouldn't do it. Thus, that tells us that our job, our calling comes from the heart. But when the siren stops, whether it is through retirement or through injury, it doesn't stop for us. It still keeps going. We still manage to want to help and to be there. But yet, when the siren stops, is when the demons come. When we've taken the time to try to help the 8-year-old who witnessed his brother getting murdered. Nothing you could do for the brother, but what you have left is the 8-year-old who witnessed it and is screaming in the corner. Or even the young man that drowned in a pool, and you get there to try to save his life, and you lean over and you look inside the pool, and there he is at the bottom, eyes wide open, looking back at you. Or even the young lady who's in a car crash, and she tells you she has AIDS. And the first thing you say, I don't care. I'm here to help. When the siren ends, is when we, in some way or another, lose who we are. Because in our service to others, gave us fulfillment, gave us an opportunity to feel wanted, feel needed. It helped us to give, in some way, what we weren't given in our life, one way and or another. Yet, it's the demons that surface. It's learning, once we're gone, where did everybody go? Where did that friend that was our partner went? Where is my comrades who were always there when we answered the call? Where were the ones who were supposed to reach out? I learned even through my injuries as a police officer, my injuries as an EMT, where did my friends go? It almost felt like I wasn't thought of anymore. It felt like nobody cared. It felt like I didn't belong. But yet, while they're on the job, they cared. They reached out. They made a difference. We were family. Now, I suffer from PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and bipolar. Me, yeah, bipolar, but I'm being treated for that. But at the same time, the demons are always knocking at the door. That lack of fulfillment within oneself to reach out and make a difference has ended, so to speak. Our answering the call, being there when we're needed most. I've learned that we were always there for everyone else and often not there for ourselves. I've learned how to hide my pain and to tuck it under the rug or compartmentalize it in the back of my head, to only be there just for me. To only realize one day a trigger happened, and once that trigger occurred, I snapped or I cried. I still remember when I came here to Colorado Springs almost 2 years ago and was asked to go to the grocery store, and how I stood there and cried because I didn't know what to do. Don't let yourself get caught up in the pain or the uncertainty or even the loss of not being able to do what you love to do. You know, when the siren stops, our life doesn't end. Our life starts anew somewhere else, yet we still have those memories of things that we've done. I still remember a call that I did as a police officer where I got called for the disturbance. And I respond, lights and siren, because I was told to do so by dispatch. And as I approached the scene, I cut everything off and I drive slowly, and there are bushes on the side of where the call came from. There's bushes in the driveway, bushes in the driveway, bushes in the driveway. And as I go to one area, I see an open area, and I see a white male with a baseball bat in his hand. I immediately pulled my vehicle back into the driveway, stepped out, identified myself as a police officer with my weapon drawn. Yeah, the adrenaline was pumping, I'm not going to lie. And yet, this young man, dropped the baseball bat. And I still had still had my weapon on him. And I hear someone calling my name in the background. Officer Allen, we're playing a game, we're playing a game. And I come to realize that they were simply playing a game. And someone had called because they thought that someone was being attacked. So that's why I responded code 3. I realized once the adrenaline had stopped that I could have easily made the decision to fire my weapon, because I'm taught to defuse the situation. I'm taught to deal with the threat. And what I perceived as a young man getting ready to strike a young girl with a baseball bat was them simply playing a game they called volley baseball, where they were playing baseball with a volleyball and a bat. No one knows what to do until you have to draw your weapon. No one knows. And when you do, it's a choice that you have to make. It's not easy. It follows you. I also remember one time running with a fellow Conrad in Stafford County, and he knew I was a chaplain, and he looked over at me and he says, "Chaplain Allen, you okay with this?" We were responding to a call where a deer was hit. And he looked at me and he goes, "Are you okay with shooting this deer?" Okay, I'm big and bad, I reckon. Yeah, I am, I'm ready. And it came time to shoot. And I see this deer hopping away. And I draw my weapon and fire. And I miss. And he looks at me and he says, I'm a new officer, and he knew that. He says, "Officer Allen, Chaplain, take a deep breath. Now, do your job." And I did. Then he proceeded to tell me that I am responsible for every round that's in my service weapon. Every round. I have to be accountable for. Every round that you ever fire, you have to write a report why you fired it or why you used it. The hard part about when the siren stops is when the memories begin. It's when we decide for ourselves, what do I do now? Do I give up? Do I stop living? Do I think no one cares? It's hard being alone when the siren stops. It's hard thinking that you don't matter when the siren stops. But I want you to know that you do matter. I want you to know that what you're holding in here is doing more harm than good. I held it in for quite a long time, and no one knew about it. I had a very good way of hiding it. Yet I did my job to the best of my ability, and I gave to the best of my ability, 100%, and sometimes even more. I've been through discrimination, both in the fire department and both in the police department. But did it stop me? No, because I knew there was a calling, and I was there to do that calling and to be the example that I needed to be. Despite often hearing, do as I say and not as I do. Yet, when the siren stopped, for me is when the pain began. When the siren stopped for some friends of mine who were injured, severely injured, the depression comes, the uncertainty hits, the can I ever return back to what I was doing? Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't. But it's then when we are hurting the most is when you, our comrades, our friends, the guys and gals we work with on the street should reach back out and let us know that they're there. The depression, the hurt, the pain comes to the surface as we're struggling to get back to life, to get back hopefully to that which we love. And God forbid, the doctors tell you you can't do it anymore, as they told me. And I had my moment to where I knew I was not going to do it anymore. And it kind of cut inside of here. And it almost made me feel that I wasn't worth anything anymore, that I wasn't of value, that I wasn't needed. And that stayed with me in my heart and in my head. But then eventually, through my Father above and through dear friends, I made it. I got through. Even though I can't serve as I want to. Both of my knees have been replaced. And now I have some issues mentally, as I mentioned earlier, that I'm dealing with. And they keep me from doing what I love doing. But at the same time, I'm glad I was called to do it. Because it taught me to never give in, to never give up. It taught me that all of us are family. And that all of us matter. And even as a police chaplain, I know what my fellow brothers and sisters in law enforcement are going through. I went through the same thing. I know what my EMS personnel, brothers and sisters are going through. I've been there. I even know what my firefighter friends have gone through. I've had some type of training, but I never went into a fire. But I have all the utmost respect for them. We're all family. And we learned that we're only family when we're right there in front of them, each other. And the minute we're hurt or lost or unsure, it's almost like cutting an umbilical cord. You're not wanted anymore. But I want you to know that you're wanted. I want you to know that you're loved. I want you to know that that you're appreciated. I want you to know that you made a difference. Yes, the pain is real. Yes, the hurt is real. But within you is a new chapter. Within you is new hope. Within you is the ability to find strength. Not just in yourself, but in our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And in those who are special to you. Many of my friends today did not know what I was hiding. Had no clue. I hid it very well. But the only person I realized that I was truly hurting altogether was myself. I couldn't function in one way and or another. I always smiled, and I always thought that it would take care of itself. But I realized that the only person who could take care of it in all retrospect is myself. Don't give up on us, those who serve. Those who get hurt, don't give up on them. Reach out to them. Let them know that we are still family. Let them know that you care. Because the separation is bad enough, but it's even worse when you don't reach out. Even if I was your partner for a couple of years or just a couple of months, we were brothers and sisters, and we are brothers and sisters. And yet, the disconnect when the siren stops could be a life breaker or a life changer. As I mentioned, I want to go across the United States to my brothers and sisters in fire and rescue and in law enforcement and in corrections to let you know that you have the ability to rise above, to accomplish and achieve, and to be all that you know you can be. Don't give in when the siren stops. Start talking about it. Lean on your fellow coworkers and friends and families. Because when we don't do that, we end up with alcohol. We end up taking drugs. We end up putting a gun to our head. We end up drowning ourselves in sorrow and in pity and in self-worthlessness. When indeed you and I are of worth and of value. Don't give in when the siren stops. Step up. Find who you really wish to be. Start living your life. Your life doesn't end when the siren stops. Even when the demons come knocking at the door, know that you have the strength within you, the ability within you to rise above, to accomplish and achieve, and to not have to give in. Too many of us give in and take our lives, or lose family members and friends, when the only reason why we lose them is because we failed to share what was inside. We failed to share the hurt. We failed to share the pain. We failed to reach out. Yeah, we can reach out when we're right there with our comrades in the cruiser or on the ambulance or in the fire apparatus vehicles. Yeah, we can do that. But when the siren stops, where is everybody? Let today be the day that we, as brothers and sisters, step out. Let today be the day where we share what's inside so it doesn't consume us and so that it doesn't cause us to do or make decisions that can be permanent. Your pain can be eased if you talk about it. Your hurt can be eased if you share it. But we are here to get each of us through. Each of us who serve. We didn't realize at the beginning what it would do until the end, when we found out what it did and what it caused us to do and what it did to chip away at who we really are. The coming home and carrying the burdens of the shootings or the stabbings, or the times you've had to draw your weapon, or the times you had to get someone out of a fire. We carry that with us when the siren stops. But it's then that we need to reach out. Even before that, we need to reach out. We need to take the time to see that we are of value and of worth. I know now that I am. And I want you to know that you are too. Don't give in when the siren stops. Know that there's hope. Know that there's faith. Know that there's the ability to rise up. God is with you. Trust me on that one. Your friends who are truly your friends are with you. Trust me on that one. Because let me tell you, when the role is reversed and it's one of them, one of our fellow comrades who are sick or injured or can't return, it's then that they want someone to reach out and make the difference, to be there with them. Someone that they can lean on and tell the old stories to. Someone whom they can reach out and feel comforted. And knowing that they're not alone. And in knowing that they can rise above and accomplish and achieve. We are indeed our brother's keeper. But if we don't reach out when the siren stops, shame on us. Shame on us. So today, be the example to your brothers and to your sisters. I know I'm trying to be. Today, let your brothers and sisters know one particular thing, as I say all the time, never alone. Let today be the day where you're there for someone else when the siren stops. We can deal with the depression. We can deal with the pain. We can deal with the memories. We can deal with the hurts. But the only way we'll be able to truly deal with them is to take the time to share them so that we can live life and not end it. My story is just the start of many stories of those out there like myself, guys and gals, who served, who saved, who made a difference. We are family, whether we're on the street now or whether we're at home recovering from injuries. But when the siren stops, your life does not end. It still begins. I know that now. And I'm trying to get the help that I need for everything from dental work to up here to here. Getting back to being the person I've always wanted to be and that I started out to be. Letting go of the hurt, letting go of the pain. Picking myself up and being the best that I can be. For me, for my wife, for my kids, and for my family. But remember, you can't do it by yourself. But it's up to you to get up and move forward and onward and upward. And to not let the demons, the memories, consume you when the siren stops. You take care today. Spread the message, spread the word, because someone out there needs to hear this. Someone out there needs to know that there is life when the siren stops, and that there is help when the siren stops. And in the end, maybe we may very well know that we, you and I, are never alone. Until next time, Chaplain Allen, taking the time to say thank you.